Hello and welcome back to the Carzone YouTube channel. Over the last few years, Mazda has been slowly moving up market with new models like the latest Mazda 3 and the CX-5. But it's this new Mazda CX-60 that could be their most premium model to date. It's a new flagship SUV for the Mazda brand, and it's also their first ever plug-in hybrid and their most powerful production model ever made. It goes on sale priced from €54,000, rising to about €61,000 for a top-of-the-range model, which is actually quite reasonably priced when you compare it to other premium plug-in hybrid SUVs like the BMW X3, the Volvo XC60 and the Audi Q5. Mazda has clearly put a lot into developing this new CX-60, so could this be the one that finally delivers on Mazda's premium aspirations? In this video, we're going to take a closer look to find out. The new Mazda CX-60 is longer and wider than the CX-5, so it looks a lot more impressive in the metal, and it also has a lot more presence. It's classic Mazda design with a big grille flanked by LED headlamps and lots of sleek surfacing that catches the light perfectly, especially in Mazda's signature soul red crystal. It's got a long bonnet and that houses some big engines. For example, this plug-in hybrid has a 2.5 litre petrol engine at its heart, and two 6-cylinder petrol and diesel engines are going to join the range at a later date. There are 4 trim levels and 18-inch alloy wheels come as standard, but we think the Hamura and the Takumi models look the most premium of the range. They come as standard with 20-inch alloy wheels and body-coloured painted sills and wheel arches. Powered tailgate comes as standard on all but the entry-level model, and it opens to reveal 570 litres, which is very good for a plug-in hybrid SUV like this one. There's lots of little handy features as well, like a 12-volt socket. There's also a 3-pin plug, there's storage nets, and there's also hooks as well. And you can let the rear seats down from these switches in the boot. This sill is nice and low and flat, so it's easy to move things in and out of the boot as well. Now the CX-60 is 5-seat only, so there's no 2 extra seats here in the boot like what you might find in a Hyundai Santa Fe or a Kia Sportage. But Mazda is planning a new 7-seat family SUV, and it's going to be called the CX-80. The doors open really wide in the Mazda CX-60, so that makes access in and out of the car much easier, and also if you have to fix child seats here in the back of the car. And then once seated, it's clearly a lot roomier than the Mazda CX-5. It's wider, so it's easier to sit 3 people across the rear bench. It also has a longer wheelbase, so there's more leg room, and there's also a flat floor here for the middle seat passenger. We have an armrest here with 2 cup holders. There's also rear vents, and this model even has heated seats in the back of the car. There's also 2 USB-C ports and a 3-pin plug, so it's well kitted out, and there's Isofix on the 2 outer seats. From the driver's seat, the CX-60 does feel like a much bigger and more luxurious SUV than the CX-5. It's a classic Mazda cabin, so it's got a really logical layout and it just looks very classy. The quality is also very good in here, and certainly it can rival anything from BMW, Audi or Volvo. Leather seats come as standard on all but the entry model, and what I'm driving here is the Hamura, and it gets a black leather interior as standard, but the top of the range Takumi model gets a white Nappa leather interior. There's a new digital instrument cluster for the driver, and some versions also get a head-up display. But no matter which version you go for, you get this 12-inch screen in the centre of the dash, and that sits really neatly there, so it looks really good. And it comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's a mixture of touch control, and there's also a classic Mazda dial here on the centre console and the shortcut buttons to control that while you're driving. The Mazda CX-60 comes very well equipped with standard features including cruise control, dual zone climate control, and also lots of standard safety features. And as you go up the trim levels, there's more luxurious features like heated steering wheel, heated front seats, and even a Bose stereo. So one cool feature that the Mazda CX-60 has is the driver personalization system. And basically you can go through the system and add your height, and it will adjust the driving position to make it perfect just for you. The Mazda CX-60 uses a new platform that introduces plug-in hybrid technology to the Mazda range for the very first time. The heart of the plug-in hybrid is a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine. And there's also a battery and an electric motor. It uses an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and it also comes with all-wheel drive as standard. Plug-in hybrid will be available in Ireland from launch, but we can expect 2 6-cylinder petrol and diesel engines to join the range at a later date. The plug-in hybrid has 327 horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque, and 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is just 5.8 seconds, which is not bad for an SUV that weighs about 2.1 tons. The CX-60 does feel quite big on the road, but it does a reasonable job of disguising its size and weight. So it does feel agile, and it's also quite sharp through bends, but it's not quite as athletic as maybe something like a BMW X3. So the driving dynamics are good in the Mazda CX-60, but the downside of that is that it does ride quite firm over the road, especially at low speeds in town where it picks up manhole covers and other bumps in the road surface. But the ride does get better when you get out onto bigger roads and motorways. It's also very refined at high speeds on the motorway, so it does feel like a proper premium driving experience behind the wheel. There are also a number of driving modes: normal, EV mode, off-road and sport mode. And when you slip it into sport mode, you do get a more urgent throttle, and it also sounds better as well in that mode. So it is one of the better large SUVs to drive. But plug-in hybrids are all about efficiency, so you can charge the battery in the CX-60 and you can drive it electric for up to about 60 kilometers, though in real world driving that will be a little bit less. It takes about 2.5 hours to charge the battery in the CX-60 from a 7 kilowatt wall box. At low speeds, the plug-in hybrid is not quite as smooth as some rivals, so sometimes when it's transitioning between the EV mode and the hybrid mode, there is a little bit of a jolt. You'll be aware of that 2.5 litre petrol engine coming to life. But certainly it does get better once you're out at cruising speeds on bigger roads and motorways. Generally, it does work fine in those circumstances. The CX-60 brings Mazda design and quality to the large SUV segment. Some rivals are a little bit more comfortable in town, but the CX-60 is very well priced for what is otherwise a very luxurious SUV. So if you're looking for an upmarket SUV that's spacious and well equipped, then this Mazda CX-60 might be the one for you.